What is going on, everybody? It is a beautiful day to talk about some Madden NFL 17 football. In this video, I want to do something a little bit different. I know a lot of my videos are a little more on the advanced side, breaking down pro gameplay, some more advanced tips, and whatnot. Madden 17 Championship, B-Dubs Bowl 2, covered a lot of games from those two tournaments right there. But I don't want to alienate some of the newer members of the community. I know there is kind of a pretty steep learning curve to getting into competitive Madden, and it can be kind of intimidating, just jumping right into it and hearing all these phrases and terminologies that you just don't understand. So I would like to maybe once or twice a week do a video just on the basic, foundation building blocks of Madden, and kind of the first things I think that you need to kind of get your feet wet into and really dive into, understand, and that'll build a good foundation for you, learning more and more things when it comes to, advancing kind of your level in Madden and getting into the competitive scene maybe a little bit. Or maybe it's just somebody just wants to learn the basics and to be good enough to, beat up on your buddies, at your house or whatever. So whatever the situation is, I just want to kind of have some more beginner-friendly videos, and I think this is going to be the first one kind of in that series. So in this video, I want to talk about hot routes. Now, hot routes are on the offensive side of the ball, and it's basically to where you can change the routes of your receiver to not whatever you want to, but they give you a good bit of options, 10 options, each option depending on where your receiver's at on the field. So we're going to go ahead and start off all the way on the left side of the field here, Dez Bryant. So the way you hot route, you're going to hit Y or triangle on PS4, then the icon of the receiver, so in this case X for Dez Bryant, and it's going to bring you up a screen in the bottom right corner where you can see, based on where you move your analog sticks, or what route it'll put them on. So you have the left stick, up is a streak, to the left is an out, to the right is an in, down is a curl. So going through those real quick, left analog stick up is a streak, so just streaking straight downfield. Out is an out route, so left analog stick out puts him on a quick out route. Left analog stick in puts him on a quick in route, just like you see Cole Beasley there in the slot. And then a left analog stick down puts him on a curl route. So these routes, streak's really good, obviously attacking deep downfield. If you have a good vertical threat like Dez Bryant, that could be something you could look into. Quick out route is something that's good. If you think your opponent might be sending a heavy blitz, you want to get a quick route out there. An in route's good both as a good check down read as well as a good hot read against blitzes. And then a curl route is good against more off coverage, like you see in the play right now. That defensive back is playing about 7 yards off of Dez Bryant. Curls are pretty good if you can get some cushion out there. But that's for the left analog stick. Now, right analog stick, you have a fade, a zig, a slant, and a drag. So a fade route, very, very similar to a streak route, a little bit more off kilter, not as straight, not parallel to the hash marks. You'll be able to see that a little better whenever I go over someone like Jason Witten on this play, the tight end. He's much closer to the hash marks, so you'll be able to see how bent the fade route is. It's kind of hard to see out there on the sideline. But once again, same purpose, attacking deep down the field. A slant route, similar to an in route, just a little bit quicker, and you get a little bit more depth on it. Definitely very good for beating man-to-man and getting over the middle of the field. Drag route, kind of a hybrid between an in and a slant, but basically it's as quick as a slant, but it's about as shallow as an in. That's about the best I can describe it. It's like an in route, but a lot more quick developing and, about a yard shallower. So that's another really good route against blitzes. And then you have a zig route, which is where basically he's going to fake like he's running, a drag or a slant, and then he's going to cut and go back towards the outside of the defense, the outside of the field, rather. So that's a good route that you can use. I mainly use it maybe out of like the slot to kind of attack the flat. It's kind of hard to use it with those outside receivers being all the way out there already. They don't have a lot of field to work with, unlike someone like Cole Beasley out the flat has a lot more room to work with when running that zig route. So those are the analog sticks. Now you're going to see also you have the triggers. So you can do left trigger for a comeback route, which is kind of like a much deeper curl route. It's probably about 15 yards downfield, and then they break towards the sideline. I use curl route as a reference, but these two routes are completely different. So you'll definitely want to kind of go in and I mean, the best I can sum it up, I guess, is comeback routes I think are better than curls. I think curls are much better against stuff like a man-to-man. Against zone, curls can get jumped. It's kind of sketchy to throw them. But comeback routes do a really good job of sitting down, behind those flat zones, and can lead to some nice gains down the sideline. Comeback routes are kind of like, the back shoulder routes you see in the NFL on the weekends. Like a team like the Packers, I mean, Rodgers throws almost nothing but back shoulders to Jordy down the sideline. So you can kind of think of this route as something like that. Now, your right trigger is going to be a smoke screen. So a smoke screen is basically a flat route, but you're literally just going to be sitting out there. As soon as you snap the ball, Des Bryant's just going to turn towards the quarterback and just be exactly what he is. He's a smoke screen. He's a quick read, hot read against blitzes. So that's something that's good if you think your opponent won't be out there, covering the immediate flat as soon as the play starts. Now, if you noticed, you have all those, so that covers the analog sticks and the left trigger, right trigger, but you have an option RB or R1 on PS4, and that is smart route. So what a smart route does, say Des Bryant's on an in route. Say it's 3rd and 15, and you want, Des Bryant to run that in route not 5 yards down the field. You want him to run it 15 yards down the field. What you're going to do is you're going to hot route him just like you normally would, and you click RB. And that's going to extend his route. In this case, I'm in practice mode, so the default length, I think, is like 10 yards. But basically, what a smart route's going to do is it's going to extend the route length either to the first down marker, or if it's a goal-to-go situation, it's going to extend the route length all the way to the goal line. So this is really, really good in those long yardage situations, 3rd and 20, 4th and 12, whatever it may be. You don't want a 5-yard in route that does you no good. You want them to run their route to the sticks. And so this is a way to extend those routes. Now, hot routable routes that are smart routable, not all routes are smart routable, so you kind of have to mess around and figure out which ones are. In routes are, out routes are smart routable as well, as you can see right there. Curls are as well, but it's kind of hard to see because curls are already pretty deep, so you would need to be in a pretty big hole for a curl to get extended. Now, smart routes also work the opposite way. You can smart route routes to become shorter. So say it's 4th and 2, you want Des Bryant on a curl out there. You would be able to smart route him, and he would run like a little 2-yard curl. At that point, it pretty much becomes a hitch route. So you can use smart routing to either extend or decrease the length of your receiver's routes. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. There are a lot of other routes that aren't hot route options that can get smart routed, such as corner routes, just different over the post routes. They have different types of in routes and out routes that you can do. So the options are there. You just kind of have to get familiar with them within whatever playbook you run routinely. So that's pretty much the outside receiver. Hot routes, you see Terrence Williams on the right. He's going to have the same ones as Des Bryant did. Now moving into the slot, Cole Beasley. So you go to hot route Cole Beasley. You look at the analog sticks, same routes. Streak out, in, curl, fade, zig, slant, drag. Now, when you look at the triggers, however, you see that they're different than what Des Bryant had. Now you have a flat route right there, Cole Beasley attacking the flats immediately, and you have a hitch route. So a hitch route is basically a curl route, but it's a lot shorter. It's about a 3-yard curl route. That kind of develops a lot quicker, obviously, because it is a lot shorter. Now, hitch routes are something that are smart routable. So if you want a curl route out of your slot receiver, you can go ahead, put him on a hitch, and then smart route him, and he'll go to whatever length. And you can kind of tell the difference. That's a smart routed hitch right there for Cole Beasley. And then you look at the stock curl. Stock curl's about a yard or two deeper. And I just feel like they don't turn around quite as quick as a hitch. A hitch is designed to be a much more quick hitting route than a curl is. So definitely keep that in mind when you're running these two routes, that there is a difference. They're not the same, although the difference is very, very small to the naked eye. It can definitely sometimes make a difference in the down and distance situation that you're in. It can be the difference between a quarter of a second, him turning around, him not turning around, and your quarterback getting hit. So definitely important to know the small differences. So right there, that's going to be your slot receiver hot route. So like I said earlier, same on the sticks. left stick streak out in curl, right stick fade zig slant drag. But you're going to have different triggers. So flatten hitches, you still have the smart route ability with that RB button. So moving over to tight end. Now Jason Witten, let's get Zeke Elliott out of there a little bit. So Jason Witten, when you go to hot route Jason Witten, you're going to see the same sticks once again. Streak in, out, curl, fade, slant, zig, drag. But the triggers are going to be different once again. So you're going to see that left trigger flat route option, just like you saw in Cole Beasley. But now you have a right trigger pass block option. So this is really good if your opponent has been sending, or if you're expecting a blitz off that right edge or whatever side your tight end is on. It can definitely help in picking up more of the simpler blitzes that may be coming from your opponent. Now, some of the more complex blitzes, a tight end blocking on the line of scrimmage might not be the best solution, but it should serve its purpose more times than not. It should allow you that extra pass protection, even if your opponent, has a dominant defensive end or outside linebacker like a Von Miller or like a Khalil Mack, and he's on that side, and you don't trust your right tackle to hold up on him one-on-one. You can go ahead, block your tight end, get that double team, and kind of take him out of the play at the expense of having one less receiver on a route. So it's a give and take. It's a risk reward. You just have to kind of make that decision for yourself. But that is definitely an option with a tight end, and it's something that's unique with their hot routes. So that's definitely something to take into consideration whenever playing. But in terms of hot routes, that is the only thing that's different from your tight end. You still have the streak and the fade I want to go over real quick. You can see it a lot better. So right here, you see the fade. You can see the angle on which it is bent. It's not parallel to those hash marks, whereas a streak, you can see it is parallel to those hash marks. So streak does kind of a better job of attacking the middle of the field, whereas the fade's going to kind of bend and go more towards the sideline. So very small difference, but like the hitch route and the curl route, it can be the difference can be a factor, in any given play. So it's important to know those differences and know, maybe this route isn't working too well. Maybe I should try a fade route, or maybe it's because he's drifting too far to the outside. Maybe I should go with the streak, something more over the middle. So definitely something to keep in mind. Now, last but not least, you have the running back hot routes. Now, these are a lot different than the normal hot routes. Obviously, a running back coming out the backfield going to have some different options. So, left stick, you see, is actually still the same. You still have the streak, the out, the in, or technically it's an out left and an out right, but looking at it, it's an out route and it's an in route right there. You have the streak out the backfield, which he's going to run a little bit angled, towards the sideline, get to the edge of those offensive linemen tight end, and then cut up field, get in that seam. And then you're going to have the curl route out the backfield. So very similar to the curl route you see out the sideline, or out towards the sideline by Des Bryant. Now, your right analog stick, you're going to have a swing left, or let's go over swing right first. So swing right to the side. He's on the right side of the quarterback, so you can swing him out to the flat on the right side, or you can swing him out to the flat on the left side. So this is really good, if you can pick up on your opponent's tendencies, see where he's blitzing from, and you want to swing your running back out instead of blocking him to pick up the pressure. Maybe you want to leak him out into the part of the field where he's blitzing from, into the spot vacated by those defenders, and hit him with a big game just to a running back out the backfield. So this is a very versatile route. You can really attack either side of the field, and your opponent has to be aware of that, every time he sends a blitz. Now, you can also do a wheel route up the sideline, which is a really good two-level route. So you can attack it, you can throw it whenever he first attacks the flats, or you can throw it, once he gets more up the sideline, or really you could throw it at 3 different points. You could throw it as soon as you snap the ball, you can throw it when he gets into the flats, you can throw it when he starts turning up the field to get him some upward momentum, maybe truck a defender out there and get upfield, or you can wait and be patient and throw it, when he gets more up the sideline. It basically turns into a fade route down that sideline. So wheel, very versatile route, 3-level route that you can throw at 3 different points, and it's definitely something I would consider adding into your arsenal. It can be very, very effective. Now, the last route for the right analog stick is a check and release. So what a check and release does is Zeke Elliott is going to block initially, just like he would if you were to block him, just like Jason Witten's blocking right now. But he's going to block initially, and then he's going to leak out into the flat. So this is, you kind of get the best of both worlds here. You get a two-edged sword. You get not only pass protection from your running back, but you also get a quick little check down read out the backfield, if nothing develops downfield for you. So in this check and release route, it's really just a very safe option, because if your opponent blitzes, great, it does a good job of picking up the pressure and then leaking out into the flat. If your opponent doesn't blitz, it's still not all for nothing. He's going to check, he's going to look around. If he sees no blitzing defenders to pick up, then he'll leak out into the backfield. So it's much better in some cases than just straight up blocking your running back, because at least, if your opponent doesn't blitz and you block your running back, he's probably just going to be sitting back there doing nothing. Whereas in this case, it's much safer. You can block him. At the same time, he becomes a check down. So definitely something that you can utilize in your arsenal. Very powerful route out the backfield. And it's something that I think a lot of people do actually overlook. Not only beginners, but also more advanced players, I think, overlook this route as well. So definitely something to kind of mess around with and get familiar with, in my opinion. So your last two trigger options are going to be right trigger to pass block, just like you see Jason Witten right there. So just like I went over check and release, in this case, if you know for a fact your opponent's blitzing and you don't want to check and release, you can go ahead and go with the running back blocking. Sometimes this can do a better job of picking up that pressure in a check and release. You don't want your running back to, think everything's fine, release out into the flat, and then you get hit by a blitzing defender. So kind of a safer bet to pick up that pressure. And then the left trigger is an option route. So now an option route, it's kind of hidden by Zeke's call out right there, but you can kind of see it. Basically, this is either going to be an out route or a curl route, and the thing that's going to decide that is whether your opponent's in man or zone coverage. So against man coverage, he's going to run an out route. Against zone, he's going to sit down and run a curl. Now, something important to note is it depends on basically the only thing that matters to the running back is if somebody's manned up on him. Man-to-man assignment on the running back. So your opponent could be in a zone coverage. He could be in, cover 2, but he could say, I want to man up somebody. I want to man up one of my linebackers on the running back. Well, even though your opponent's in cover 2, because of the fact that somebody's manned up on the running back, he's going to run that out route. So the only thing that matters when considering this route is if somebody's going to be man-to-man defending the running back. And that's something that's very important to note, because you obviously want to really be on the same page as your receivers, especially when they're running option routes. You don't want to expect him to break to the outside and then, he sits down. On a curl route, you throw it and a linebacker jumps it and picks it off. So especially with these option routes, very important to know how your receiver is going to react when running them. So it's something that just comes kind of with repetitions. You get a feel for it. Don't be intimidated by it. You'll definitely get it down over time. Just like with anything, like I said, it's all about repetition. So that's actually going to cover all the hot routes. So obviously it depends on where your receiver's at on the field. Like I went over, Des Bryant, Terrence Williams out there split out super wide. You have the slot hot routes with Cole Beasley. You have the tight end hot routes with Jason Witten. And then you have the running back hot routes out the backfield with Ezekiel Elliott. So definitely important to note where your receiver is going to be at and know all the different options that you're going to have available, when considering changing their route on any given play. Hot routes are a beautiful thing. You can really create concepts. I'm in this play, gun doubles, angle smash, but I can create a curl flat on the left side if I wanted to with Cole Beasley and Des Bryant. I could create a slant flat. I could create, a clear out kind of option here with Cole Beasley, running a streak, Des Bryant coming up underneath with a slant. So the options are really endless with hot routes and the different combos you can make, and it's something that can definitely, immediately bring your game to the next level just by having this knowledge in your back pocket. And it's something that's really very powerful, and it's a great building block to understanding Madden kind of at a more advanced level as you go on and just learn more and more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely comment. Let me know what you guys think. It really means a lot to me whenever I hear you guys' feedback, what you thought, what I can do better, and if this series is something that would be interesting for you. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, guys, take it easy.